Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All three of you make profound statements with which I agree, and thank you for being here. Does the United States engage in hacking into systems around the world?
Well, sir, it depends what you mean by hacking. It has been reported in the press, and I think as you'd expect, there are traditional intelligence operations that the U.S. government conducts, as every other country does. The significant difference, though, for the United States is that we don't steal commercial secrets and then give them to our domestic companies for the purposes of commercial advantage.
Yeah, the only reason I asked the question because I'm following up on something that was said earlier, and that is when we discover that a nation is in fact hacking into our commercial operations or into the Pentagon, which I think has been done a couple of times. I'm just wondering about the response, in a way that's more than saying we know you did it, and which is what I think we said recently. I mean, that wouldn't stop me from robbing 7-Eleven if I were a 7-Eleven robber. Somebody said, "Well, Cleaver, I know you did it."
Sir, I think that's precisely the point. You highlighted the essential problem, which is it's incredibly ambiguous what exactly we're doing as a nation when our most valuable, our treasures are being stolen from us, left, right, and center. And I think having a transparent, concrete plan to address those issues is sorely needed.
Congressman, if I can build on that just a teeny bit. Clearly, we need to penalize the perpetrators and the adversaries from this behavior and change their behaviors. To me, that does require articulating a clear cyber deterrence strategy to deter, compel, and dissuade. Obviously, that's going to take on different instruments and instrumentalities based on A, both the perpetrator, and B, the incident itself. But I feel we do have to be more transparent and be willing to speak about leaning forward. What good is having the doomsday machine if no one knows you got it? At the end of the day, of course, the United States has a capability, but we use it in a very sophisticated and measured, commensurate kind of way. To Richard's point, a number of these countries are doing it to benefit their companies. That's an unfair playing field, and U.S. companies are penalized greatly by the perceived and or real sins of others, and we're getting our shirts cleaned in this case. So I do feel there is a way, and there are other instruments that can be brought to bear, both proactive but also sanctions. The administration recently promulgated an executive order that allows for using economic sanctions against cyber perpetrators. I think it's going to be put to the test real soon. We'll see how it plays out in reality if we can translate those nouns into verbs.
Someone hit on this earlier, but is it possible, do we in fact have the technology now, or are we capable of producing the technology that would create a zero-fail system?
Sir, in my experience, there is no such thing as an unhackable system. And I think that's what you mean by zero-fail.
Yes. So, go ahead, Mr. Madden.
And likewise, there will never be a system or a condition where attribution will be 100%. That's also an ideal. But I think it's a matter of weighing risks. And this revolution in attribution, where technologies are advancing to the extent where we're very confident that certain attacks originated from a certain state actor, for example. I think that we're getting to a place where we can be comfortable with the amount of risk that we're taking on.
Well, after North Korea hacked into our system, Kim publicly says that didn't happen, we didn't do it. And so I was hoping on the next day we could produce some indisputable evidence, yes, you did it, and here's how we know you did it. Does that exist?
That's the Treasury model, sir. That's precisely what we did with illicit finance. And we confronted those nation-state actors with declassified intelligence and said, yes, you did.
Can I build on that? Because I'm going to throw a compliment to Richard's direction. I mean, Mandiant, in their report on China and their activity, that was the smoking keyboard. Very difficult to discern, but they did demonstrate smoking keyboards. You're starting to see attribution improve dramatically, never to 100%, because the smart actors are using proxies. They want the veneer of plausible deniability if they get their hands caught in the cookie jar. But there are other means than simply cyber forensics to get information on who's doing what. So we have other intelligence capabilities that can be brought to bear.
Thank you.